This is a podcast, and it seeks what all podcasts seek: harmless phosphorescence. Hello, everybody. This is Thoreau Smiley, and I get a little bit stabby when I have a nightmare. Who's joining me this week?
Hey, I'm Josh CC. You can't pretend shit isn't happening when it is, Princess.
I'm Brian Lesh, and are you offering to kill me?
Who's the caveman? It's Alaric Weber.
And this is Harmless Phosphorescence. It's the podcast where we watch every theatrically released full-length live-action superhero movie ever made. We gather some research into the production and the source material, then we tell you about it. You, gentle listener, who could be a patron like our other patrons. Just go to patreon.com/harmlessentertainment. We've got some executive producers at the executive producer level. You get your name said on air, like Michael Beckwith and Atticus Burkett. We got a lot of bonus content there. We've got music shows. We've got monthly movies. Let's see. We did one about Roadhouse. Just recorded that. Hot off the presses. Should be up within a couple days before the end of August, hopefully, which is coming fast. And then next month, we're going to be doing another monthly movie. $1 a month is all you need to get started. So patreon.com/harmlessentertainment. This week, though, on Harmless Phosphorescence, we are watching The Wolverine.
Wake up. Where were you?
Oh, Gene, I'm so sorry. I'll never hurt you or anyone ever again.
It's too late.
No!
You can't hide.
No,
I've been trying to find the Wolverine for over a year.
it's not who I am anymore.
My employer wants to say thank you for saving his life all those years ago.
Run, now! That was a time when our enemies knew honor. I wanted to offer you something no one else can. A gift. You have struggled long enough. I can end your eternity. Make you mortal. What they did to me. What I am. Can't be undone. Don't be so sure. I'm not healing like before.
His flesh is weak now.
Eternity can be a curse. A man can run out of things to live for. That day ain't here yet.
The Wolverine, released July 26th, 2013, a running time of 126 minutes, cost $132 million, took in $414 million. So it was a hit. Big hit. Much bigger than the last Wolverine movie, which was the X-Men Origins one. And that leads us to the game within the show. Are you guys ready to play the box office top 10 game?
Oh, yeah. Boy, am I.
All right, here we go. This is the game where I will describe each of the movies in the box office top 10 for the week of July 26, 2013. Guys are going to try to guess what movie I'm describing based on the box office mojo description. I will leave out proper names where necessary. Here we go, guys. Opening up at number 10 this week. A community teams up with their friends to rescue a woman who has been abducted by their arch nemesis, since she knows a secret spell that can turn the evil sorcerer's newest creation into something more real. I danced around a bunch of stuff there.
Yeah.
Something more real.
I sense a fairy tale themed movie here.
Is it a Shrek?
It is not a Shrek.
Should be.
You got any Shreks up in there? It is not a Shrek. It is a franchise. It is a sequel. It is
Hoodwinked 2?
It is not Frozen 2. I don't think Frozen 1 was even out yet.
No, he said hoodwinked, right?
No, Brian said Frozen.
I said Hoodwinked 2.
Al said Hoodwinked. It is not Hoodwinked. It is it is a live action version of an animated franchise from the 80s. We all
Transformers movie.
Oh, the Smurfs.
The Smurfs 2, yes.
2.
With Hank Azaria as Gargamel.
He does a decent job.
He does a decent Gargamel.
He does.
There could have been no other.
No, but wasn't Katy Perry Smurfette?
Yes.
Yes. What's his name? Mr. Bean. He could have done a Gargamel.
Oh,
Rowan Atkinson.
Rowan
yeah,
Atkinson.
he would have been a good Gargamel too. Yeah.
That's true.
I have not seen either of the Smurfs movies, and I am not certain I ever will. Coming in at number 9 for the week, a recently slain cop joins a team of undead police officers to try to find the man who murdered him.
R.I.P.D.
R.I.P.D., a movie that was briefly being considered to be on this show, but we passed it over.
Oh, it's so bad. We should do it at some point.
I've heard it's absolutely terrible. I've never seen it.
I watched it and suffered through every moment of it. Everything is bad about that movie.
Yay! It would probably be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds was taking any superhero movie, comic book type property.
Was that
Good.
that was Ryan Reynolds again?
And Jeff
Yeah.
Bridges, right?
I knew Bridges. I forgot Reynolds. Wow. Yeah, he was just doing anything there for a while.
That's in the Hellboy universe, right?
Oh,
Is it? I have no
I
idea.
think. I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure.
that sounds right. Wow, cool.
Yeah, it is comic book based, but yeah. Coming in at number 8. I have never heard of this movie. An uptight FBI special agent is paired with a foul-mouthed Boston cop to take down a ruthless drug lord.
Is this Will Ferrell in something?
Oh, okay. We got Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy.
Oh.
So it's that kind of movie.
Yeah, Spies. Something about Spies.
Not Spies, but she was in a spy movie. No, it's not Spies. It's called The Heat. The Heat. Coming in at number 7. As a war between humankind and monsters wages on, a former pilot and a trainee are paired up to drive a seemingly obsolete special weapon in a desperate effort to save the world from the apocalypse.
Is this a Transformers movie?
It's not, but it's I didn't especially like this movie, but I know it has a lot of fans. I think Doesn't
Is it a
Guillermo del Toro-
GoBots movie?
No. Oh, wow. Doesn't Guillermo... I think Guillermo del Toro might have something to do with it. Pacific Rim.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. The kaiju type movie.
Yeah.
I like that movie.
Yeah, it was all right. In my opinion.
Yeah, well, any giant monster movie is just all right.
Well, yeah. I mean, any
I've
giant...
never been like, that shit needs an Oscar.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't know. Some
Look
are...
at the way they took down Tallahassee.
Well, someone needed to take down Tallahassee.
Kong versus Zilla. All right.
Number 6, retired CIA agent Frank Moses reunites with his unlikely team of elite operatives for a global quest to track down a missing portable nuclear device. This is a sequel. I never saw the first one.
Oh, it's a sequel. Shit. I was thinking something.
Yeah, I actually forgot this franchise exists. Is that... I can't tell. That might be Bruce Willis in there.
Are we there yet?
Are we there? Yeah, God, it's me, Margaret. I'm sorry. Every time. Every time.
It's me, Ice Cube. Yeah.
Sorry. Red 2.
Oh, I like these. Yeah.
Yeah. Helen Mirren.
Oh, that's right. Helen Mirren. Yeah.
John Malkovich. I mean,
Oh, that's right. That's right.
yeah.
I forgot. Coming in at...
Morgan Freeman.
I have to watch those, I think. Yeah, just on the cast alone. Coming in at number 5. After moving his family back to his hometown to be with his friends and their kids, Lenny finds out that between old bullies, new bullies, schizophrenic bus drivers, drunk cops on skis, and 400 costume party crashers, sometimes crazy follows you.
Lenny. So this is the Law and Order movie, right?
Yeah. Law and Order Special Comedy Unit.
This is the
It's like,
prequel to Of Mice and Men.
Yeah. This is a
Before
sequel.
it took such a turn.
This is a sequel. And it's
Bachelor Party 2.
we've got Adam Sandler, David Spade, Chris
course.
Rock, and I can't see who that is, but I'm pretty sure it's Kevin James.
Is it Grown Ups?
Grown Ups 2, the new batch.
Still growing.
Yeah. Grown Ups 2, Grown Up Year. Number 4. A freak accident might just help an everyday garden snail achieve his biggest dream.
Oh,
The Snail movie?
Which is what?
yes.
Which is winning the Indy 500.
Oh,
This is
Speedy?
close. I mean, yeah, it's in that vein.
Zippy. Zoom.
Zippy?
No, not Zoom.
No,
The tagline is, he's fast, they're furious.
Speedy. I said that already.
It's called Turbo.
Oh, Turbo.
Yeah. God, wow, so many sequels this week. Number 3 is... okay, how do I describe this without giving everything away? A supervillain turned super dad has been recruited by a team to stop Lethal Muscle and a host of other bad things. He has to fight back with new gadgetry, cars, and more madness.
Transformers 4.
As a supervillain turned super dad.
Oh God. Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Despicable Me 2.
Yes, exactly. Al.
There we go.
Yeah.
The Cars gadgetry threw me off.
Yeah. Well, new
Is
gadget.
this where the Minions came from? It's Despicable Me?
Yes.
Despicable Me
Yes.
was the Minions. Yes. Yes. And Al, you get one Facebook meme in reward for guessing the movie.
And an aunt.
Yeah.
in her
It's
60s.
it's a tiny little yellow guy saying that 9/11 was an inside job. Number 2 this week. Paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine work to help a family terrorized by a dark
Conjuring.
The Conjuring, yeah. The first one. Ed and Lorraine. I did not realize there was such a big Conjuring universe until fairly recently.
Yeah. Those are 2 real people. She's still alive,
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah. Real, like, bullshit artists, charlatan, like...
Nah, bro, ghosts are real. Come on, man.
Yeah, totally real.
Spiritualist.
Isn't it funny how ghosts and alien sightings, like, really fell off the map once smartphones became a thing?
And more satellites. Right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Well, and the only people that see ghosts already believe in ghosts going into it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know? Like, you need a ghost to show up with me. Then
Well-
I will scream it from the hilltops.
Oh, yeah.
I don't believe that shit. I've never seen
I think there should be like an obligatory, like, we should check your home for gas leaks anytime that somebody
Yeah.
reports something like
Yeah.
this.
Do,
Like,
do you have a
yeah,
carbon
like that.
monoxide test? Like, yeah.
that. Yeah. It's a good point.
Yeah, we'll send the Ghostbusters, and they're just gas line repairmen.
And speaking of which, it's like it's about time we fire the ghost hunters and get our money back. 'Cause it's like,
Yeah.
we've had a lot of time and chances
Yeah.
to capture a ghost.
No, they're catch and release hunters. Like, oh, we would never want to take a ghost.
catch and release ghost hunters.
No,
You
they're
got
like
ghosts. See you later.
they're like paranormal Elmer Fuds.
Yeah.
The paranormal Elmer Fuds.
Number 1 in the
Helling.
box office top 10 this week. Wolverine comes to Japan to meet an old friend whose life he
wins
saved
trips to
years ago.
Japan.
Yeah. Sad and alone in Japan.
Was that the official tagline?
Sad and alone in Japan. Yeah. It's actually lost in translation too.
Yeah, he just meets Magneto in the bar.
Yeah, they go do karaoke together. Yeah.
What was the official tagline for this movie?
The official tagline,
You better
It
watch
slices. It dices.
here, let me see. The official
out. Crazy
tagline.
Christmas.
There we go.
Do I look like the mayor of Tokyo? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what the mayor of
Maybe.
Tokyo looks like. Why don't you tell me?
So possibly.
Yeah, it's not impossible. You could. The official tagline for the Wolverine is when he's most vulnerable, he's most dangerous.
Yeah, that goes for a lot of people.
Yes.
Back someone in the corner.
That's our box office top 10. That brings us to the character and comic book background. Al, we may have seen Wolverine before. Is there anybody new from the comics?
There are a lot.
Damn it.
And
You know you like it.
I wrote I started writing and then I was like, I'm not gonna make it through this movie, so I'll wing it.
Yeah, you're cramming all night working on your thesis.
Let's start off with Mariko Yashida, created by Chris Claremont and John Byrne. First appeared in Uncanny X-Men number 118, February of 1979. Daughter of Shingen Yashida, half-sister of Kenichiro Harada, cousin of Sunfire and Sunpyre, aunt of Shingen Harada.
Oh my God. Well, thanks for clearing all that up because I was wondering.
It's about time.
Yeah, we'll get to Kenichiro Harada.
Did
Thank
Mariko have any
goodness.
powers in the comics, or was she just a normal human being?
She was normal. I think after this movie came out, she got powers of some sort.
The power of love.
The power of hoodoo?
Who what?
The power of hoodoo?
Who do?
Voodoo?
You do.
Do what?
Remind me of the babe.
Yukio. Yukio, created by Chris Claremont and Frank Miller, first appeared in Wolverine number 2, September of 1982. Female ninja of Japanese origin, supporting character of the X-Men, particularly associated with Wolverine.
Ninja of Japanese origin.
The lazy naming there.
Yukio was originally conceived as a love interest of Storm. That relationship was relegated to subtext after Marvel editor-in-chief Jim Shooter mandated that no same-gender couples could be depicted in comic books during his tenure at the company.
You think that's what teenage boys want to see?
Teenage boys aren't interested in girls kissing each other.
Ooh.
That is not at all intriguing.
An occasional thief by profession, as well as a Ronin, masterless samurai. Yukio has superior fighting abilities, great accuracy with weapons, and a genius-level intellect.
He does.
Nice.
They just give it away.
I liked her bangs.
I don't think she was a scientist, but like a genius-level ninja.
A ninja-level intellect.
A tactical
The
genius.
most deadly.
I like it. Shingen Yashida, Lord Shingen. Shingen? How did they say it in the movie?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Remember. Lord Shingen, created by Chris Claremont and Frank Miller, first appeared in Wolverine number 1, also September of 82.
Wow,
So we got
cool.
two Wolverine issues in 1 month.
What a boon it was.
It was
A
like,
Japanese Yakuza crime boss who disgraced his family when he asserted that he had a legitimate claim to the imperial throne of Japan and turned his clan into a criminal empire.
and the Japanese government is like, we don't really do that anymore.
Yeah. U.S. will hear you.
This was the father of Mariko Yashida. Moving on down the list, we've got Viper.
Boy, do
Viper. Real name, Ophelia Sarkissian, formerly known as Madam Hydra.
Oh.
we? Oh, wow.
Yeah. Let's see. She is an excellent strategist and tactician, skilled martial artist, swordswoman, and markswoman. Has an immunity to most forms of venom and toxins, and an enhanced lifespan. The within this movie, this movie does not reference Viper's comic book history as an agent of Hydra due to rights issues with Marvel Studios.
Yeah.
Well, good.
Instead, they turned her into a snake.
She's a snake lady. And every time she walked on screen, she would like turn and like look like just like camera right and like do something with her hands. So every time it was like, she's evil.
And other than molting and the forked tongue, her powers weren't particularly snake-like.
I mean, the molting. You got to just give. I know you do, but like, I think that's enough to like have a snake name.
But like, yeah, what snake can shoot some sort of strange spider into your mouth? That I don't know.
Well,
We'll get there.
spitting spiders into your mouth is a very specific sort of fetish, but
Yeah, I'm subscribed to that magazine.
The Spidermouth Snake? Yeah, we have that out here. If you get too close, it just shoots spiders at you. It's deadly.
According to Wikipedia, Viper has no superhuman abilities apart from the augmented longevity and the resistance to poisons and toxins.
so she can't spit spiders into your mouth.
In the comics, no, she's not a spider spitter.
Her other power is to live in a tank too small.
Because you know what,
apartment.
you know what they say. You want a spider spitter in the sheets and a lady in the streets.
Spider spitter. I'll write that down.
Okay. And I think our last one was Kenichiro Harada. He was the original Silver Samurai.
Okay, yeah.
And,
I was going to say, he's legit.
and that character first appeared in Daredevil number 111, July of 1974, created by writer Steve Gerber and Bob Brown.
Gerber and Brown.
Did I not? I'll go back to Viper because I don't think I said where she first appeared.
God
so,
created her, Josh,
yeah.
as he did all of us.
She's perfect the way she is.
A Japanese mutant who uses his powers to charge his katana and wears a samurai-style armor made of silvery metal. He's the illegitimate son of Lord Shinjin, half-brother of Mariko Yashida, and cousin of Sunfire and Sunfire.
And friend to all the animals.
A nemesis of Wolverine, so he's not a friend to the Wolverine. Not all the animals.
Not like Steve Irwin, anyways.
So Silver Samurai didn't originate in a Wolverine comic. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was his own character. I think they were, at that point, trying to diversify the Marvel universe.
Let's take a look at some of his abilities. Master Samurai and martial artist. He's got a teleportation ring. That's fun.
Oh, yeah.
Wears a lightweight steel alloy body armor. Extensive knowledge of criminal organizations. He carries katana, shuriken, and other weapons, and has the ability to generate a tachyon field. We mentioned Mariko Yashida being the aunt of Shinjin Harada. Shinjin Harada was the second Silver Samurai, named after Lord Shinjin. Lord Shinjin Yashida. Just wanted to throw that out there because the name was already thrown out. I don't think that character came around March of 2012. And let's jump back to Viper real quick. Created by Jim Steranko.
Oh.
All right.
And...
Oh, right, because she was in Hydra.
Right, because she was in Hydra. First appeared in Captain America number 110, February of 1969.
And she was a member of this group of villains that were Snake.
Yes, what was that called?
Like
the Serpent Society.
The Serpent Society.
Along with Slither, Copperhead, Puff Adder, Fer-de-Lance, and Black Racer.
The Serpent Society.
Listen, we all have a similar theme, so we may as well.
You may as well hang out.
Serpent Society was supposed to be a work in progress as far as like the Captain America movies go. I remember that being a rumored storyline.
Interesting.
So we may see another version of Viper at some point in the future.
And when the Serpent Society isn't fighting, they're trying to get a gazebo built in the town square.
And they're taking 10% from all the local businesses.
That's right.
That's right. For snake protection. And then you're like, is that protection from snakes or by snakes? Like,
Yes.
just give us the money.
Until a world champion bouncer comes along and cleans up the town.
Cooler.
The snake's
He's a
mortal
cooler
enemy.
Al. All right. So, is that all for us this week, Professor Weber?
That's all we got.
Thank you.
Al.
Thank you, Professor. I'm just going to refer to you as Professor from here on out.
I would like to be Marianne.
I'll allow it.
All right. He'll allow Marianne also.
Yes.
So that brings us to the film production of The Wolverine. This was directed by James Mangold. Who his first film credit is as a writer for Oliver and Company, which I did not know.
Okay.
His directorial
Somebody had
debut
to.
was Heavy in 1995, starring Liv Tyler and Deborah Harry. Yeah, that's weird. But let's see. He directed Copland. He did a bunch of mid-2000s romantic comedies. Like, yeah, weirdly enough. Let's see. He did Kate and Leopold.
With Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, with Hugh Jackman. Well, I guess not. Night and Day, I guess, is the other one I was thinking. That's not. Wait, what is that? That's yeah. Tom Cruise. Oh, okay, that's that Tom Cruise Cameron Diaz movie before Tom Cruise stopped making anything besides.
Am I?
Yeah, Mission Impossible. But he directed Copland, Girl Interrupted, Walk the Line, 3:10 to Yuma.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got
And then he did Logan after this, which I really like.
Logan. Yeah.
It's a good movie.
Logan is a great movie. He did Ford v Ferrari. And he is currently directing the 5th Indiana Jones movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting because there's some fridge jumping shit right off the bat.
Yes, there is. And we will definitely get to that. This was written by Mark Bombach and Scott Frank. Mark Bombach, he has a decent filmography here. Let's see. He wrote Live Free or Die Hard, which was not a very good Die Hard movie. The Race to Witch Mountain reboot, the Total Recall reboot. He wrote a couple of the Planet of the Apes movies.
So
did he write the Das Boot reboot?
Right. The Das reboot.
Do you want to have an old movie pass through the lens of somebody just describing it? Call this guy.
Right. He also he has uncredited rewrites on the Mummy reboot. He has an uncredited rewrite on Logan and an uncredited rewrite on 50 Shades of Grey. Scott Frank, their other writer on this, has a much longer filmography. He wrote Dead Again, that Kenneth Branagh's first movie, first directorial debut. He has writing credits on Get Shorty and on Heaven's Prisoners. Yeah, Out of Sight, Minority Report. Marley and Me, and Logan. He got a start.
Marley and Me and Logan.
Yes.
Marley and Me and Logan make 3.
Dun, dun, dun,
dun. He got to start writing for the Wonder Years, which have you guys seen? They're rebooting the Wonder Years.
Yeah, I heard that.
With it takes place in the same time period, the 60s. They didn't update the time. But it's an African American family, and the narrator is Don Cheadle.
See, that's all fine. That's all great. I'm down with it.
It actually,
why does it have to be the 60s again?
Well, because I don't know, but
the 90s sucked. I disagree.
Yeah, but I mean, they're clearly doing the dawn of the civil rights kind of thing with it, and an African American family.
Narrative wise, that makes a lot of sense.
But let's see. This movie stars Hubert Jackman. His name is not Hubert. Hugh Jackman, who we have spoken about a few times.
It's short for humongous.
Humongous, yes, humongous jacked man. Tao Okamoto as Mariko. She is. Let's see. We'll see her again in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. She has been in she was in Westworld. Okay. Hannibal, the man in the high castle, doing a lot of TV.
And a lot of work in Japan.
Yeah. A ton of Japanese stuff. A lot of this cast has a lot of Japanese work, which I won't go into.
Which is awesome, though.
Yes, absolutely, it is. But we haven't heard of any of it, and I'm not able to pronounce a chunk of it also, so I won't be going into that in depth.
But it's cool. But they have no problem, making white people.
Yeah.
Stand in. So
yes, I'm really glad that they cast Japanese people, because they really didn't have to. They could have cast vaguely Asian-looking American actors.
Or an evil British guy.
Yeah.
And
Oh, God.
Asians all around.
Uh-huh.
Japanese.
Yeah. Let's see. Ryla Fukushima as Yukio. She is also has a lot of Japanese credits. She's been in Arrow.
So like at an arcade in Tokyo.
Yeah. Let's see. She was in the Ghost in the Shell movie. Oh no, that was not good. She was in Game of Thrones. Oh, she was a Red Priestess. Huh. Oh, and she did a voice. She voiced Sumi in the Castlevania series. Then let's see. Additionally, in our cast here, Hiroyuki Sanada as Shinjin. Let's see. He was in The Last Samurai, the one of Tom Cruise's last Oscar bait movies. He was in Speed Racer. Oh, that guy.
Which guy?
He was
Mr. Musha.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy in the thing.
Okay.
One of the businessmen. One of the
the business guys.
Yeah.
He was
patrons.
for those of you who would like to listen to our Speed Racer episode, $1 is all it's going to take, and go to patreon.com/harmless entertainment.
That was a fun watch.
Yeah, it was. I liked it way more than I was expecting to.
Same here.
Yeah. So, let's see. Svetlana Kodchenkova as Viper. She is Russian. Extremely Russian, judging by these credits. Professionally Russian. Let's see. She was.
And Viper sounds like, out of all the weird Marvel names, sounds like that's her motorcycle club nickname.
Yeah. Let's see. As far as American films go, she was in Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, 8 First Dates, The Love in the Big City trilogy. What is Love in the Big City?
Trilogy.
Oh, that's a Russian trilogy. Okay, a 2009 romantic comedy that was apparently a humongous hit in Russia. The Russian... Oh, I can't pronounce the Russian name. It doesn't give me the breakdown. But a Russian trilogy of romantic comedies.
What was the English name?
Love in the Big City. She was in all 3 of them. There might have been a 4th one.
Oh,
but
Yubov Vybolsham Gorod.
Thank you, Al.
1 through 3.
Yes.
I'm reporting you. See something, say something.
Wow, I didn't even notice much of an accent on her. Interesting. She just did some good accent work.
She did. But she had a lisp from that weird tongue.
Yeah.
No, she didn't.
Brian T as Noburo. That was the fiance. He was in the Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. Mortal Kombat
he's
Legacy.
He's her fiance, and he's also the Secretary of Defense or Minister of Defense.
Yeah, Minister of Defense. We will see him again in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows. Don't forget, guys, we have 2 more Turtles movies to get through at some point.
And I hear there's one in production.
Oh, a live action?
Yeah, I think CGI based, I believe. It's very early stages. I didn't see a lot of details.
Oh, boy.
It caught my eye because I was like, oh, more turtles coming down the pike.
Yeah.
They should move in with Batman.
They should.
Live in the Batcave, make a movie every 2 years.
It's turtles. He adopts teenagers.
And do what?
He adopts teenagers.
Yep. That's true. He does.
Haruhiko Yamanouchi as Yashida. Wow. A Japanese-Italian actor, dancer, choreographer, and writer, according to Wikipedia. He did a lot of theater, living in London. He was born in Tokyo, grew up in Tokyo and then moved to London to do drama and television.
So who is he in this? I'm sorry.
Yeah, the old guy who was the young guy in World War II. So he's been in a ton of stuff over the years. Let's see. 2020 Texas Gladiators, which came out in 1982. Wow, a bunch of B movies in the 80s. Let's see.
He was in Zoolander 2.
Yeah, I'm getting there. He was in The Life Aquatic.
Oh, sorry.
Life Aquatic, The Way Back, Zoolander 2. He does all of the Italian voiceover work for everything Ken Watanabe does. Interesting. And he was the voice of Floyd Eagleson in the Italian dub of Despicable Me 2. So this was a big week for him.
Yeah. I bet that's very lucrative.
I bet, yeah. Will Yun Lee as Harada. He is in, let's see. He was in Die Another Day. Oh, we saw him in Elektra. I don't remember him.
Nobody did because nobody was looking.
Yeah, Elektra was.
At Elektra.
Yeah, Elektra was. It's not a good movie. Yeah. Let's see. He was in the Total Recall reboot, the Red Dawn reboot. Reboots. Oh, he was in San Andreas.
These boots are made for rebooting.
Did a lot of TV too. Let's see. True Blood, Altered Carbon, The Good Doctor. Oh, he's currently on The Good Doctor. So good for him. Rounding out our main cast here, we've got Famke Janssen back as the fever dream of Jean Grey. And then of course Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen reprising their roles in the after credits scene as Magneto and Professor X.
There was an after credits scene?
You didn't watch, Al?
Well,
I did.
Okay.
Setting up Days of Future Past.
Mm-hmm. So that's about it. There's not much. Production-wise, one interesting tidbit. This movie was originally they began development immediately after X-Men Origins Wolverine for some reason, despite the fact that movie was terrible. Christopher McQuarrie wrote the screenplay originally, the guy from Usual Suspects, and attached to direct, signed on the dotted line, Darren Aronofsky. But he dropped out around 2010 for some reason. And so they gave it to these guys to do a rewrite, and James Mangold came on board.
So he's like the anti-Ryan Reynolds. Every time a comic book property comes his way, he's like, maybe. Psych.
Yep, I'm out.
Prank.
Yeah. So that's about it for the production side of it. There wasn't a whole lot of it.
Got one production note.
Mm-hmm.
It was just the top one in the IMDb trivia. Hugh Jackman said that for his shirtless scenes in this movie, he wanted to look as ripped and cut as possible, so he adopted a dehydration diet used in bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Where he did not consume any liquid for 36 hours before filming his shirtless shots.
Yeah. I heard he did that for Days of Future Past also.
That's
crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
I read somewhere in the notes about this too, that he consulted with The Rock for how to bulk up because he bulked up a ton between Origins and this movie.
He is so much bigger.
The Rock said,
yeah.
He said, eat a 6,000 calorie diet every day for 6 months and you'll gain a pound a week.
So what happens with
a pound?
What happens with the dehydration then? Does it make your muscles expand?
Yeah, it tightens the dehydration, tightens everything up, and gives the exaggerated muscle definition and the vascularity, the rippling veins.
Yeah. So basically, the hydration of the skin makes them like once the skin dehydrates, it sucks into the muscles and makes them really pop out.
Well, yeah, because then if you remove the water, then it starts to just be the what is it? Is it lactic acid? What's the acid? The protein acid. Yeah,
lactic.
Like that.
Yeah.
So
Anyway.
Yeah.
He's
so cut in this movie.
like insanely
veiny.
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So veiny. This movie has 71% on Rotten Tomatoes. I didn't get any funny reviews because there's nothing funny about Wolverine.
He's the 9/11 of people.
Hey, but you know the South Park rule. Like you can start making fun of things after 20 years.
Yep.
It's September 2021, baby. It's coming up.
Did they really wait 20 years? Because
no, they did not wait 20 years.
I was gonna say, I was like, they're Johnny on the spot.
They said that, but no, they break it constantly.
They'll make an episode in a week. Sorry to get on the side.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's their deal. But
They don't wait for anything.
That's about all I got, guys. You ready to jump into the movie?
Hi.
Schnick, schnick.
Here we go. This is The Wolverine. We open August 6th, 1945, Nagasaki. Not a good day to be in Nagasaki.
No. Infamously.
Yes, perhaps the worst possible day to ever be in Nagasaki.
Rainy days and Mondays.
Yeah. Logan is a Japanese POW in an underground cell. I do appreciate the fact that they didn't feel the need to like introduce him to us again.
Yeah.
They're just like, it's Wolverine. You know who he is. He's doing stuff.
You literally see him peeking through a hole.
Yeah.
Right.
That's how we see him the first time in this movie.
Like
In
a
the
little
covered
underground
well.
Wolverine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were like, this is the only way we can keep him in with his schnickety schnicks. Let's see. The Americans drop the bomb on Nagasaki. A Japanese soldier frees a bunch of prisoners, including Logan, who helps him out by throwing him into the hole and shielding him from the bomb with the big iron door. So he's going to be totally cool now.
Yeah.
Everything's fine.
No fallout.
None.
Well, like Indiana Jones with the refrigerator, this was an air fryer instead.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Let's ignore the radiation sickness that so many people died of immediately.
Well, and yeah, not to mention that like so much of the radiation travels at almost the speed of light, you know, as it moves away from the bomb.
Yeah, no, that bomb, it moved very slowly towards them.
He seemed to heal a lot faster in this one than any other movie I've seen.
Yeah, when he was healing super fast, even for him.
Fast.
Yeah. So then Logan wakes up. He was dreaming of the past. He's with Jean Grey. She tells him, "Psych, I'm dead. You killed me. This is a dream too."
Terrible pillow talk. What a bummer.
Yeah. He wakes up again. He's living in what can only loosely be described as a cave somewhere in Canada in the forest. Like, I feel like he could have found a better cave. Like, that was barely an alcove.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
It's bigger on the inside.
like the TARDIS.
Yes. It's a big floor plan on the inside.
Yeah. His radio is running out of batteries, so he goes into town. He encounters a friendly grizzly bear on the way.
Yeah, they're buds. Because that bear only eats DiCaprio's.
Hugh Glass, I'm coming for you.
But yeah, it was really...
They've had a lot of deep conversations, him and the bear. They have an understanding.
The bear's like, "Sure, I am bear, but why am bear?"
Why? He's like, "We do shit in woods."
Thanks for all those picnic baskets.
So yeah.
What a bear would say. If a
Sclooby-doo-doo-doo, little buddy.
say, "We're coming for you."
Yeah.
Fucking bear.
So, yeah, he goes to get some new batteries. We see a group of pretty douchey hunters. We're going to be heading out into the woods. At night, he's awakened by screams. Not the normal screams he's awakened by, but the screams of hunters. He goes to their camp, finds the camp torn up.
Not the screams of lovemaking, which faces it. Come on.
Yes.
That's what hunting is.
Yes.
It's out with your bros.
You know, he's got like the claws come out so often when he's sleeping. Do you think he ever just accidentally like slices parts of himself off in the middle of the night?
I wonder.
Like when he's unconsciously swatting a mosquito or a fly.
Yeah, like that.
Poke.
Or he starts to have like an erotic dream or something and just accidentally cuts off his own penis. Like,
Or even like adjusts himself.
yeah.
Rolls over.
There's all sorts of things. Like those things coming out in his sleep is very. There's a lot of issues with that.
It's real touch and go.
It is. So all right. The hunters shot the grizzly with an apparently illegally poisoned tip arrow.
Left it to just die.
Yeah. So he puts it out of its misery. Heads into town where he finds the hunters bragging about it in the local bar. He confronts them.
He arrives at Letterkenny.
The
Yeah,
one
he
surviving hunter.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
The one surviving hunter.
Tales.
I mean, to be fair, I mean, the hunters, they may have sucked, but also a bear attacked you. So
Yeah. But did he? The details are sketchy, I think.
it is.
So the way Logan explains it is that the bear got shot by this poison arrow, and the hunter didn't track him down to make sure he died, and the bear went crazy and killed all the hunters. That's what he said in the bar.
Yeah. Yep. And that makes sense.
Yeah.
And if you are being attacked by a bear, go for your gun rather than your bow and arrow. Because that bear's coming fast.
Yeah. Yes.
Right.
If I'm being attacked by a bear, I'm going for my car. That's what I'm going for.
Well, yeah, sure. There's always trying to outrun a bear. But if you've gone on a hunting trip, fuck, we left all our weapons.
Why did we decide to go hunting using our fingers?
We're naked and afraid.
So yeah, all right. Let's see. He's stopped from killing the hunter by a young Japanese girl who can see the future of anyone's death. She beats up some bar people for Logan and then heads out to her car. Logan gets in with her. They drive away. She tells him that she's been looking for him for a year. Her name is Yukio, and she's employed by the man who Logan saved from the atomic bomb back in the 40s. He's dying, and she tells Logan that he'd like to say goodbye to him in person. Logan's resistant at first, but she convinces him to go to Tokyo. They fly there, and we learn that Yashida, which is his name, is a billionaire now and the owner of a huge tech company. They arrive at his house, which is...
Has Logan's fear of flying been brought up? I forget.
He asks if he dies on this plane, but
I don't think
he's drinking heavily. He does not sleep the entire 15-hour flight.
Yeah, I don't feel like at any point in the X-Men movies did he express fear of flying when they were getting into the
Blackbird.
The Blackbird, yeah. So
I don't know. Maybe he had some. Maybe it was trauma from Blackbirds crashing.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
So yeah, they arrive at Yoshida's house. It's heavily guarded as he's been attacked by the Yakuza multiple times. This is yet one time I'd like to see a Western movie, where they introduce the Yakuza without having to say the Japanese mob after the words the Yakuza.
Yeah, we get it.
We know what they are at this point, guys.
Bad guys.
We meet Yashida's son, Shinjin, and his granddaughter, Mariko. Mariko is talking to...
I guess they have to explain it for all the 12-year-olds watching this movie.
I guess, but...
Fair enough.
But
I mean, they can get it through
watching
context clue. I don't know. So
it's been in pop culture a while. There was a movie in the 70s called Yakuza.
Yeah, it's been in pop culture a long time, and at this point, it's a trope. Like they did it in The Simpsons. Like,
the Yakuza.
So I liked this movie. Watching it this time through, I realized how tropey. Like, it is super, super tropey. A lot more than a lot of more modern superhero movies are. So, all right. Let's see. We meet Mariko. Mariko's talking to her grandfather. She gets upset by something. And we also meet evil blonde scientist lady, who we don't know yet is a viper.
That bed he had, he's the viper. That bed he had was, wow.
It was a lot like the Man of Steel things, like all the little pins moving.
Right?
Yeah, those are metal on the top too.
Yeah, it does not look...
They put like little cushions or like ping pong balls or something on the top.
Something softer. It does not look comfortable. Yeah.
And cold.
Really?
Oh,
seems cold. Comfortable to
I
me.
bet. Because it's metal, though. Like, even if it forms to your body, you're still, like, laying on metal.
Who knows?
They might have been coated with a flexible plastic.
Might have been where he's laying, because we can't see those. But yeah.
Well, I mean, no, because when Logan comes in to lay down on it, I mean, I don't know. It looks very metallic. But anyways.
It is. It is metallic.
Yeah.
That's not memory foam. I'm not.
Yeah, no. That's what makes it look uncomfortable.
But who knows? Maybe it has a medical purpose.
So, all right.
He's got a fever and the metal cools him off.
There we go.
Or it emits magnetic or electric. I don't know.
It emits rays. It emits.
Yeah, it's like those copper bracelets, I guess.
Right.
Yes.
Good vibe.
It adjusts your T rays. Exactly. After a shave and a haircut, Logan talks to Yashida, who tries to convince...
They let him keep his mutton chops.
They did.
They scrubbed his balls.
This is where I draw the line.
Yeah.
Right there.
This side of my face. This line on my
See
face.
that line? Shave around that line.
Yeah. I also... It's interesting how his hair just naturally goes up on the sides.
Yeah. It is neat.
Yes.
It's like a wraparound cowlick.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's always had it, and he's always had that mask that he wears. So it makes you imagine the hair curls being up in that.
It goes in the mask part, yes.
Sense.
I just assume he's napping in convenient places every time we see him, off screen.
Oh, so it's just making
like
it...
It's just bedhead.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, all
He's
right.
got a special pillow to make it
ergonomic.
do that.
Yeah.
While other people enjoy metal beds.
Yeah. No, he spends hours making it go up. He's like, I gotta look like the Wolverine. Gotta live up to my name. That's what the fans expect.
Psychs himself up in the mirror.
He's like, you could do this, Logan.
You got this. Live your best life. Hashtag blessed.
So Logan talks with Yashida. Yashida's like, I want to give you the gift of dying.
Yeah, and he pretends as if like that's something he knows about within Logan.
Yeah.
He keeps talking to him like, it's what you want. I know it's what you want. I'm helping you out. He's like, when did I ever say that?
When did I say that to you? In the 2 minutes we spent together in a hole in Japan, like
Saving
70 years ago? Yeah. Yeah, so Logan refuses.
Stay under the metal door. I wish I could just die.
But I can't, and I never will. I'm immortal. I hope you can do something about that someday. Bye.
Someday. I wish I could give you this power, Rando.
So, yeah. Logan then witnesses Mariko and Shinjin argue. Shinjin slaps Mariko, and Mariko tries to throw herself off of a balcony cliff type dealie. Logan stops her. We learn that...
Do we ever get clarification as to why she was driven to suicide in this moment?
I mean, just her father's like being upset. I think she was like some cultural thing. Like, I think the reasoning was it was a cultural, like, I've brought dishonor to my father and I'm gonna, that kind of thing.
She said something. Maybe we'll get there.
Well,
later on, she's like, I didn't really want to die, and
maybe she knew she was going to be the most powerful person.
Well, she did, because
after, so maybe that was immediately like, I can't do that, and there'll be threats on my life.
But she did it immediately after her father was yelling at her too, and because she had told her father in that moment, and then her father like slapped her and yelled at her. So like, I don't know. Let's see. Logan saves her. Then we learned that Yukio was an orphan that Yashida took in to be friends with Mariko. Logan plans on leaving the next day, but he's going to stay the night in the house. You have to say one night in the spooky house, Logan. He has a nightmare about... It's a nightmare.
It's like Island of Dr. Moreau type vibes. Like, the fairy will be here tomorrow.
He has a nightmare about Jean Grey again, but when he wakes up, Jean turns into a blonde scientist lady who spits the spider into his mouth. There's a fetish for everything, guys. And when Logan jumps up, though, she's gone. But he hears a ruckus and discovers that Yashida has died.
So she did spit the spider into his mouth, but it was while he was asleep, before he woke up. So, like, did he dream her spitting the spider into his mouth after she had already spit the spider into his mouth?
Well, he, like, kind of woke up and Jean Grey turned into her, and then he jumped up. He was, like, in half awake mode, and then her being the Viper, she was able to leave really fast before he could see her, I guess.
Yeah. This is the one time he doesn't wake up and try and scratch his nards with his claws, too.
Yeah, he didn't wake up and immediately stab her.
Like,
she would have gotten skewered like every other character in the X-Men movies that wakes Logan up for whatever reason.
You know what I realized watching this is that Logan repeatedly throughout every movie is constantly waking up in a place that he's never seen before, just over and over again. Sleeper. He's just waking up somewhere, like, or gaining consciousness in some sort of lab or on a table, or just like constantly just waking up in unusual places.
Well, and we never show him getting dragged to those places, and the dude weighs like 300 pounds.
He's got a metal skeleton.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like at least 300 pounds.
Yeah.
Also, I know he heals rather quickly, but inhaling a spider doesn't give that spider access to any organs that it wants. It's gonna have to eat through some sort of wall.
It's gonna have to pierce
to get to
through the stomach or the lungs. It's going into one of those two places when it goes in the mouth.
Yeah, and then it crawls up to his heart on its own
and starts I have so many unanswered questions about the science in this movie. Both the spider,
maybe it's an adamantium spider.
The spider, the spider thing, and then also just what Yashida was doing to Logan and planned to do to Logan. Like, they don't even give us fake science for that. They're just like, I can do it. Don't ask how.
It was meticulously planned because those screws that come out of his, weaponry are, perfectly spaced for Wolverine's claws.
Yes, but also how does drilling into the claws suck out his immortality?
His bone marrow? It's a bone marrow transplant, I guess. That was their hand-wavy science.
Transferring powers has always been bonkers and lame.
There is one word that is used by the Viper that I think describes our lack of science, and she says that she is an expert in metaphysics.
Which is not science. That's
right. And how do you become an expert?
Metaphysics is a philosophical discipline. It is
Yeah.
not science. It's not
I
physical
think that was
science.
them
Take the
saying,
LCAT
like,
or whatever.
it's not magic, but it's not science. It's metaphysics.
It's not just peanut butter. It's not just chocolate.
It's Nutella. Anyways, all right. So he goes to the funeral the next day. Press is there, as well as Japanese Hawkeye, who's not really hiding. He's just kind of standing on a roof
Yeah, yeah.
He's wearing black midday.
on a roof.
Like, he
Like,
could have worn a
just right
shade of
there.
gray. Like, yeah.
No, and also like there's one point where like he's clearly visible to everybody. Like everyone should have been seeing him, but he's like crouched.
Yeah.
And Drew was like, when you crouch, no one can see you.
No one can see you. It's like closing your eyes.
Video game logic. Well,
Yeah.
and he has his like stack of arrows out there too, so it's not like he hopped up and was like, I'm gonna shoot.
Well,
He's been positioned there.
he has a briefcase full of arrows, and he opens it up, and we see 5 arrows.
He's a
5.
traveling arrow salesman.
Yes.
And a backpack full of dreams.
Yeah. 5
If you
arrows.
don't buy these arrows, you're gonna regret it.
But then later on, he jumps down, and suddenly he has a backpack quiver with like 30 of them. So, anyways, we meet Mariko's fiance in the middle of the funeral. Wolverine gets some bad vibes, and suddenly a bunch of monks throw off their robes to reveal that they're the Yakuza. It's a good
Which
thing.
Tattoos are very popular with the Yakuza, at least pop culture has
Yes.
told us.
Yes.
But yeah, he sees this monk and he's got a full sleeve.
Yeah. But also, like, they all threw off their robes to be like, haha, we're evil, instead of leaving their robes on to be more confusing and blend in.
Yeah.
So they start, they're trying to abduct Mariko. They shoot Logan, who does not immediately heal from the wound.
They shoot him like point blank with a shotgun.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is a big and many wounds.
Yeah, well, and his reactions to the shots and like the way the shots affect him are very confusing because they don't quite affect him like a normal person would be. A normal person would be dead,
Right.
but he's not healing from them either. So it's like,
Right. Yeah, because we've seen him push bullets out of wounds. But
Yeah.
So he has mortal powers as far as healing. You're right.
Yeah. And
Those-
he's getting
those
like
slugs are in him.
he's like dizzy. Is that from the blood loss? Because he's really not losing that much blood from having been shot with like buckshot.
yeah.
And he took 2 Tylenol PM. It's like Thoreau said, he likes to wake up
Yes.
unawares.
He's bad at waking up, that's all. He takes a lot of Ambien. That's what happens.
A lot. He's like, otherwise I have bear dreams and all kinds of shit.
Bear dreams.
My girlfriend who was never my girlfriend.
Right. Who was actually the girlfriend of a dude I don't like.
Yeah, who I don't like because
She was his
I like
girlfriend.
that girl.
Yeah.
He's not dreaming about the woman who gave him the name Wolverine
No.
Right.
from the Origins movie.
The bear lady.
The bear lady. Or was it Wolf Lady?
Wolf lady, coyote lady, I don't know.
Yeah.
Something like that.
The English
Some people believe.
the English lady pretending to be Native American.
Yeah.
Uh,
Or just blue eyes.
Yeah. So, anyways, Logan shakes himself off and manages to get himself together enough from the gunshot wound to get Mariko away from the Yakuza. They flee. They're getting chased through town. Japanese Hawkeye is shooting the Yakuza people. They eventually make it to a train. Mariko wants to go on her own, but Logan follows her onto the train.
Yep.
Back at the temple, Shinjin is organizing people, including fiance, to go find Mariko. On the train, Mariko tells Logan she's going to a safe house her family has in the South. Logan tells her he's not going to stop protecting her despite her protests. He goes to the bathroom and says,
He tells her that idea is stupid.
yes,
Yeah.
like they're going to find you.
Like, that's so stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. He speaks hard truths.
Right.
He's like Dr.
He's
Phil.
Dr. Wolverine. Yeah.
He's like, that bird ain't gonna fly. That hen ain't gonna hick the house. That rooster ain't gonna scratch the dirt.
That dog don't hunt.
He goes to the bathroom to mop clumsily at his wounds with some paper towels, and sees a group of.
He should be like shitting and pissing blood from all the internal bleeding too. I'm sure that's also something that they just didn't include in the movie. But
Yeah.
he has been shot like 10 times.
Yes.
And a weird spider's been tunneling all around his body.
His body to get to his heart. Yeah.
That's not good. The doctor said I'm not supposed to get that.
The doctor says mechanical spiders aren't supposed to dig through my body.
He said it's written down. I don't have to do gym.
I took Tylenol PM for that.
Yeah, it's easy.
I took some essential oils. So yeah, he sees a group of the Yakuza on the train. They fight all over the train and on top of the train, and it's a good action sequence. I liked it.
It is.
It's very Mission Impossible.
Yeah, very much.
When he asks her, how fast does this train go? 300 miles an hour? She's just like, I'm not a fucking train expert, man.
I don't know.
An engineer
She's
over
like,
here?
why are you asking about that? And it's like, he's like, so the audience will know when we get on top that it's fast.
And
that it's not 75 miles an hour.
It's explainable why Logan can use his claws to stick into. But what kind of knife did that dude have that he could just pierce whatever layers of metal and also drag the knife?
It was the Train Piercer 3000.
he
But
ordered
Tori
it online.
Hanzo steel.
Yeah, Hanzo. It was a
Hanzo.
Hanzo. Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
There was one moment on top of the train that it was quick that I thought was kind of cool because the one guy, there were things that were so low that they had to like jump over them
Yeah.
in order to keep from being swept off the train. But then at one moment, the other dude was like watching Wolverine for clues, and Wolverine like did a little fake jump and made the guy jump up and hit the thing.
Yeah, that was cool.
The psych out.
Also, at 300 miles an hour, like it's very hard to hit a professional baseball pitcher's pitch. You know, they're pitching like 95 miles an hour.
Yeah.
You cannot react at 300 miles per hour, regardless of how animalistic your,
Yeah.
Or how cool your Yakuza knife is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I got
Everybody's
this.
dead.
Yeah.
Like, Wolverine is miles behind Mariko at this point.
Yeah.
He's been hit by multiple signs.
100%. Absolutely.
But, yeah, as much as I love,
Still
train robberies, train scenes, it was a pretty good one.
Yeah. It was fun.
I liked him cutting the other guy's sword, and the sword, him having trouble getting it through the roof of the train. I thought that was a cool detail too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In this, the swords are basically like Wolverine's claws. All the swords are basically adamantium.
Well, he cuts through a lot of swords because then it
Slightly
gets
weaker.
Yes. Yeah. Well, yeah, but like
he gets the silver samurai, and it's like, oh shit.
but the swords can cut through anything that's not Wolverine's claws.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry. Yes. Even a glass
Yeah.
in the bar room scene in the beginning. Like, I understand the bar stool. I understand even the human beings. It takes a delayed second, but glass, just swiping off the top of a glass.
Yeah. Glass. Yeah.
It's like a spider spitting science.
Let's see. They are on the train fighting. Logan manages to take them all out. He gets Mariko and they get off the train. They find a cheap love hotel to stay in. But in the middle of the night, Logan passes out from his wounds. He wakes up on a table.
In the Mission to Mars room.
The Mission to Mars room.
The bed in this room is a circle, right? Because it's a lovemaking hotel,
Yes.
whatever, spinning bed. In the middle of the bed, there are protrusions that are like rocks on
like
the surface of Mars.
Yeah.
How are you supposed to have sex in or around those. I mean, I could imagine a number of ways, but like some of the more traditional ways of doing it, it's not going to work.
They're in the way. You don't want a bunch of Brocks protruding in the middle of your bed, no matter what you're there to do.
And they got the Mission to Mars room, and she's like, "Where are you going to sleep?" And he's like, "Uranus."
God damn it. So, yeah. He wakes up on a veterinary table to find out Mariko enlisted the help of the hotel owner's son, who's a
Nobody
veterinarian.
wanted that room?
Yeah, the veterinarian student.
Veterinarian hospital.
Well, and the manager of the hotel is the connection to the veterinarian.
Yeah. Yeah, so
So if she didn't give them away to the Yakuza, how did they find out? Was it him standing up on the freaking balcony, the only, Westerner standing on the balcony of these hotels in Tokyo?
well, did
he give himself away?
the Yakuza followed the bodies from the train,
Yeah.
and then we find out later that the Yakuza was hired by her fiance, so he knew where she was going because he knows about that house.
But this hotel is a weird, they took a random choice. They're like, oh, we'll go to this random hotel instead of going uptown.
Yeah, it was random. Mm-hmm.
And the lady that owns and operates the place was helping them.
Yeah.
So I assume that she didn't tell the Yakuza. It's just a weird, how did they show up on their balcony to fight Logan? Was it because he was standing outside in the rain, sulking?
Wait, when did the
The whole
Yakuza
time?
show up on their balcony?
Because he has a guy pull a gun on him because what's her face shows up. Jean Grey shows up on the balcony again and says "Ooh, you're bleeding pretty bad." And then the Yakuza guy hops out of her like ghost and shoots him.
Huh.
Oh, yeah,
I just don't understand how they got to the balcony without someone telling them, unless it was Logan standing out there in the rain,
Right.
Captain Obvious, Captain Canada out here, clearly not a Japanese dude who's sleeping with his new wife.
Did that happen at the hotel? I don't remember.
Yeah, because that's how he ended up getting all beat up and shot, right?
Right, I remember Gene telling him you're bleeding pretty badly.
Yeah,
I
but no,
remember
but I
that.
thought he just passed out at that point. Was he actually attacked by the Yakuza there?
I thought he got attacked. Maybe that was also a dream. I don't
He
know.
falls
Maybe it
over
was the
and passes
ambient.
out. Yeah.
Al, Professor, do you?
I just have Logan has another Gene vision asking him to come to her. He collapses and then he awakes in a facility with goats.
Oh, so maybe
That's
it was a
pretty-
dream.
Yeah, I just
thought
had
he got shot again. in
no.
that moment.
I don't think he actually got attacked. I think he was just dreaming he got attacked
Okay.
and fell over.
Maybe I took too much Ambien.
I'm on Ambien right now. This is all a dream.
You were there?
I'm just talking to my fridge the whole time.
Yeah.
You were not there. Who were you?
Yeah, you have never seen before. So, all right. Yeah, Logan at this point realizes that the blonde lady stole his healing powers, which ain't that just like a blonde lady? We cut to her walking the streets, I assume, of Tokyo. just being a badass out in the streets, taking down random drunk businessmen. Discover she's named Viper. And she's with her and her gloves. She's like, "Hello, I'm evil." She's a mutant with poison powers. She meets Japanese Hawkeye, who was supposed to bring Logan to her, tells him to go get him before the Yakuza find him. Logan...
I have questions about this that we'll get to towards the end of the movie, but he is working for Viper, who is working for Silver Samurai the whole time.
Right.
Harada or whatever, Japanese Hawkeye.
Japanese Hawkeye is working for Viper.
He's working, he's helping them escape the Yakuza, but he is also trying to get them back to Viper.
Yeah,
They still need Logan.
because they need Logan for Yashida's thing because Yashida's secretly not dead.
But we also find out that Mariko was engaged to Harada, so he is a complex character that we don't really get a lot of motivation for, besides the fact that he is split between his job and his ex-fiancée.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just kind of a muddled story point.
It really is.
She was engaged to Harada before Noboru.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and her father said no because he is a poor arrow salesman.
An arrow cobbler.
a door-to-door arrow salesman.
You can't marry below your station. He only sells arrows. Find a man who sells the bow, at least.
I'm very deadly to a point. That's not a pun. I just realized the pun, once he has no more arrows.
Yes, when the arrows run out, I cease to be a danger to anyone. So, all right. Logan and Mariko arrive at their destination by bus. He discovers they're in Nagasaki. They go to her safe house. She tells him that she was dating Harada, the Hawkeye guy. She also tells him that her grandfather left the entire company to her, which will be made public in 3 days when they read the will. She's not in love with her fiancé. It was an arranged marriage for political purposes.
So
This was Logan asked her that night, "Why did you run out in the rain?" And she explained that Grandpa Yashida told her about the will and that she'd get the company, and then her father arranged the marriage to Noburu. So I think that's what he was telling her before she tried to jump over the ledge.
So she was killing herself over the arranged wedding.
Over the arranged wedding, which was being arranged for political access.
Right.
Wait, so it was only being arranged at that point? I thought...
That's when she... yes, that's...
I thought it had been arranged far earlier, and she was going to throw herself over because her father... She had just told her father that she was going to be head of the company, and he was like, "Screw you, daughter, you bring dishonor on me, I hate you," kind of thing.
So part of this conversation with Yashida and his son, he says to him, "You ran the company into the ground over the past," because he's like, "This year has been a test for you to see how well you run the company. You ran it into the ground." Yet he is still a billionaire with all this access to stuff. And he's the one who's been spending all of his money on this science project to get Wolverine.
Yeah.
And he bought all this adamantium. Like, did his son actually run the company into the ground? Because we see no evidence of that.
None whatsoever. Yeah. I mean, honestly, he, like, Yashida was a real dick to his son. Definitely.
Yeah.
Despite his son's evilness in this movie. Yeah, absolutely. All right. So then, meanwhile, Shinjin is angry that they haven't found his daughter yet. Back in Nagasaki, Mariko calls Yukio, who tells her she's coming down there. Logan helps the local villagers chop a tree. He eats an apple and reminisces about the atomic bombing.
And the well he was in.
They just so happened to be at that stretch of beach chopping a tree.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, they do.
Chopping a tree.
They bond. On the way home, they get caught in the rain, which can only mean one thing in a movie. Sexy clothes changing and sexy sexiness.
And they're in love now because of the rain.
They got caught in the rain and now they're in love. This is what I'm talking about when I said how tropey the movie was. Like, I was like, wow, this is like 80s level tropiness.
Well, blame it on the rain.
Mm-hmm.
So I have questions about the weather in this movie since we're at the rain now.
You're right.
The funeral was the day before.
Yes.
Beautiful outside. No one is wearing anything besides like kimono. You know, Logan's wearing Logan is Logan, but I mean, he's wearing like a suit.
Yes.
Everybody else is wearing suits and like shirts.
It seems like it could be spring or summer. Yeah.
It is now raining, which, okay, it rains. Sure. We're by the ocean. It can rain. But the third act of this movie is in the snow.
Yes, it is. I mean, they do go up north.
But I mean, like, does it snow year round in Japan?
I mean,
also, is it sunny in southern Japan while it is snowing in northern Japan?
Yeah,
Japan's not that big.
No, it's not. It's not that big. And also, yeah, it's like an open world video game. You just have different biomes.
Like Red Dead Redemption, all of a sudden you're like,
exactly.
Oh, cool.
There's always snow in the north.
Now I'm in the snow.
Yeah, exactly. So all right. Yeah, they do the sexy sex from being wet in the rain. Then in the middle of the night, Logan has a nightmare. Mariko comforts him with this reminded me a lot of when his British bear Native American girlfriend was telling him vaguely ethnic stories about animals.
Mm-hmm.
Except this is a
Folktale.
Japanese vaguely ethnic folktale about animals.
Some people believe.
Yeah, exactly. It was one of that shit. Then the next morning,
The name she kept calling him, Kuzuri.
Mhm. Yes,
An animal, sharp claws and teeth, no fear.
I have one of those. I call it Kitty.
Yeah.
And actually, I have several of those. One of them I call Chihuahua. So all right. The next morning, let's see. The next morning, Logan awakes to find Mariko gone. That must have been a very, very quiet kidnapping.
Yeah. Well, he sleeps deep, like we said.
It's all that Ambien. So yeah, he sees them putting her into the car. He runs after them and can't catch them. He does get one of the kidnappers. He learns that Mariko's fiance hired the men to get her. Yukio shows up and drives Logan to the fiance. On the way, she reveals to him that she saw. She tells him that as they arrive. So, like, what were they talking about in like the 2-hour drive in between her picking him up and arriving at the destination? She's like, wait, don't go upstairs yet. I have something important to tell you. Be like, we've been sitting in silence for 2 hours. Why didn't you tell me then?
Exchanging recipes.
So she reveals to him that she saw his death, holding his own heart in his hands. So Logan goes upstairs, breaks up the fiance's party. He was having a threesome. He was getting naked and dancing with them.
Yeah. 80s style.
Yeah, can you another like one of those tropes where like the like crooked politician is like having a crazy like dance sex party with like some hookers.
Yeah.
Like
They're called
dancing.
bunga bunga parties.
Yeah.
Bunga bunga parties, man.
That's right. And they're always dancing naked. Like, I don't know. I've never done so many drugs that I wanted to like get naked and just dance with like girls in a hotel room.
Dance that way.
You clearly haven't done enough drugs, Thor.
I was gonna
Clearly
say.
I haven't. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see. He reveals that Shinjin hired them because Yashida nearly bankrupted the company, looking for Logan and stockpiling adamantium, trying to become immortal. Shinjin hid the company's debt from the stockholders, and when he learned that Yashida left the company to Mariko, he felt betrayed. Meanwhile, Mariko is brought to Shinjin, who is going to kill her, but then they're attacked by ninjas. Suddenly there's ninjas. There's out of nowhere. Well, I guess that's how ninjas arrive, is out of nowhere, but
Like 100 ninjas.
yeah, there's
So
a
many.
lot of ninjas all of a sudden.
It's not like 10. There are dozens and dozens.
Wouldn't
of
the ninjas have been handy when she was being kidnapped by the Yakuza?
Maybe they were only up north.
They had to wait for the ninjas to be trucked in.
They're
They got-
independent contractors.
They got stuck on a mountain pass because the snow came in so early.
The July snow. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love
Global warming.
unnecessary ninja jumping.
Yeah, they did
Like,
so much.
when they
Oh.
walk and then do a flip to just get to the next step.
No. I
You know
said
what I mean?
I said that about Hawkeye. What's his face? There was one
Murata?
point, yeah, when he was on a roof and he just had to jump from one roof down to a wall, and instead of just jumping down, he did a double flip down. It's like, why? Why did you do that?
Yeah.
So all right. Yeah, they attack them, and then Viper arrives and she does some poison stuff to Shinjin and takes Mariko with her. Meanwhile, Logan and Yukio arrive at the house sometime later. They find a message from Viper. She vandalized that book.
She did.
was a nice book. Daring Logan to come get Mariko at the company's lab in the north. Logan goes into the medical room of the house and puts himself in a scanner and finds the spider attached to his heart.
Yeah, less surprised than I think he should have been.
Yeah, he was just like, that's the thing that's bad. I've got to get it out.
I hate Mondays.
Yeah, not like, holy shit, there's a mechanical spider attached to my heart that the crazy snake lady spit into my mouth a few days ago.
Not even a what the fuck.
Yeah.
It would have been neat to have like a Matrix style freak out, like Neo, like what?
Yeah.
This is
So, yeah.
Well, nope, let's get to work.
He cuts himself open.
It's all in a day's work. This is what happens being an X-Man.
Yeah.
There's less than one way to skin a spit spider.
Yeah. So he cuts himself open and reaches his hand in, like his whole hand.
Yeah,
he doesn't have
again,
like
his body is just sort of a mole, like a jello. Things are floating around.
yes, but like you think he'd have like some long like utensil or something instead of having to stick his hand in all the way up under his rib cage to his heart.
Yeah, not interrupting anything else in his body.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Anyways, as he does that, they're attacked by Shinjin, who has put on his samurai outfit. So Shinjin and Yukio fight as Logan tries to get out the spider. Logan appears to die, but then he heals, wakes up, and fights Shinjin, eventually killing him.
So did we pass? I think we did the scene where Logan's in the middle of the street, almost like a western, and they shoot all the arrows into his back.
No, that's coming up. That's when he goes up north to the lab.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
we haven't gotten there yet.
Spoiler.
Yeah, so he kills Shinjin. Then they head up north to get Mariko. Meanwhile, at the facility, Viper reveals an adamantium robot to Mariko. So this was funny. So we cut there. Viper's explaining stuff to Mariko, and then she knocks Mariko unconscious. Then we have another scene, and Mariko wakes up, comes downstairs to the same spot she was in before, so that Viper can explain more things to her. Why did we have to do that? Why didn't they just make it all one scene?
Right.
Well, they wouldn't let her spit a spider into her mouth, so she had to get her rocks off somehow.
Somehow.
So all right, Logan arrives at the village, which is near the lab. And
Wait a minute. Are those spiders always living in her? Where does she get them? And does she have to swallow them first?
I assume she just like took the spider and put it in her mouth right before she spit it into his.
What kind of spider was that?
Well, it was mechanical. It was like a little robot spider.
I know, but it waved its arms like it was a squid or something.
Yeah. All right, so Logan arrives at the village, which is near the lab. He fights Arrow Guy and the ninjas.
She just picked it up. It does such a specific thing.
Well, no. I assume she made it or something. It was like just put it in her mouth. She didn't like. I assume she didn't swallow it or secrete it. I mean, it was like mechanical.
I don't think we can assume.
All right,
It's just making me laugh. Yeah.
So, yeah.
I kind of suspected that the spitting of the spider was part of Logan's dream. That she
Okay.
didn't, in reality, spit it out of her mouth.
Who put it in him?
Well, she put it in him, but he dreamed that she spit it out of her mouth. But
So
she was
while
just
he was
there,
sleeping.
right
right
before
just
he went
putting
to
it
sleep.
into his mouth.
Well,
with
no,
his hands.
because as he
Just
wakes up,
simply putting it in.
there's poison vapor coming out of his mouth. I think she did because she has the whole
I
like,
think so too.
and she has the long
Okay.
tongue. I think she stuck it. I think she used her tongue to stick it down his throat.
Okay.
In that scene, they lingered on the teacup for quite a while because they show him pouring the tea, and Rico's like watching his hand, the way he pours his tea. I assume like because he pours it like a Japanese guy or something. I don't know what that was all about, but they linger on the cup of tea. So maybe he got like knocked deeper unconscious than Logan normally sleeps. They like doubled his Ambien in the tea.
English breakfast spider.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's why she was able to like, I don't know, hang over him, and maybe she didn't just spit it into his mouth. Maybe she like slowly spit it into his mouth.
He likes it when they do it slow.
Yeah.
So all right. So he arrives at the village. He fights the arrow ninjas. And this is the scene where they shoot all the arrows into him. All the poisoned arrows.
This is my highfalutin little point. Maybe James Mangold didn't even think about it. But, not only does the symbolism remind you of the bear in the beginning, but it's also interesting that in the very beginning, he's dealing with man's most powerful weapon, standing up to that. And then we see him in the street just like taking arrow after arrow. Mm-hmm. It was fun.
Yeah.
Fun symbolism.
So Wolverine has this thing that we all know him for, which are claws on his hands that can cut through things. Why didn't he cut some of these ropes?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, he spun around and like fought people with chains before. Like, don't you think he'd be like, get these motherfucking ropes out of me? Or pulling them out of himself.
Yes.
Ripping them out.
He is just poisoned and moving slowly in one direction. He has gone from being a dynamic Wolverine to being a singularly focused, I am walking in a straight line.
Well, I mean,
he's a bear that's been ambushed.
I mean, they were poisoned arrows meant to knock him out, so maybe he was just feeling woozy and wasn't all there. I don't know. So all right. So yes, he passes out from the arrows, wakes up a prisoner in the lab next to the robot. Yukio breaks into the lab. The Viper monologues for a while, and the robot wakes up. Meanwhile, Japanese Hawkeye tries to convince Mariko that killing Logan's a good thing. She stabs him and runs away while the robot wakes up and is about to chop off Logan's claws when Mariko shows up and frees Wolverine. Here's my question about this. I have this in unanswered questions, but I'll just ask it now. Why did they wait for Wolverine to wake up? They had a machine that made the claws come out. They didn't need him awake for that. They could have just done this all while he was asleep and been done with it.
You're right. He needed to wake up one more time.
But for their plan, him waking up is far worse than if they had just done it while he was still unconscious.
Absolutely.
It's the need of the villain to taunt.
It was the monologuing. Viper wanted to get that monologuing in. Absolutely.
Yeah. And then later on, it's true.
So, let's see. Logan fights the robot. Viper goes full Voldemort, loses the hair. It's molting.
Which I wondered, so she's always bald.
I assume so.
Yeah. She doesn't regrow hair.
That's
she has like scales.
Yeah,
on her skin.
I was so unclear about why the skin had to come off, why she needed new. That just seemed, I don't know. It was
just that time of the month.
It seems tedious to do in preparation for battle. Like, you think she would have done that while he was asleep or like the night before.
Yeah.
Like, I have to do this right now.
And also, what purpose does that serve for her battling? Does it make her stronger? Like, is she just doing it because it's a reptile-y thing to do?
Right. Does she get taller? Like it's a new... They outgrow it.
I want the mutant that's like the hermit crab. Has to get a new shell.
Just scuttling around. Got a trash...
Like Zoidberg. Let's see. Logan gets one of his sets of claws chopped off, but then it's able to get the robot's own sword to chop off the robot head. Hawkeye dies. Logan's pushed out of Yukio's fighting Viper. Logan gets pushed out of a hole in the wall, and the robot turns out to be Yashida in a mech suit.
Standing on 4 Japanese children.
Yeah.
Luckily, his head's not inside the helmet.
No.
Luckily
for him.
Like,
because I feel like that really should have taken off the top of the head.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, it's been designed to anticipate anything and everything about Logan. So.
Except for what Logan ends up doing.
Maybe it made him duck inside as the head got cut off. It like shifted his body down. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Yukio kills Venom while Yashida drills into Logan's claws and starts sucking the immortality out of him. Is that how that works?
Yeah, so Logan is getting old and decrepit while the old man is getting young and like
Horny.
full of energy. Yeah, he's like,
yeah. But he's sucking. I guess the bone marrow is the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah.
yeah,
Because the claws are inside there, even though I'd like to point out that we saw when they cut them off, like they didn't put CGI bones inside the claws.
yeah.
That's right.
But yeah, so anyways, Mariko uses Logan's claws, which she picked up off the floor, to stab Yashida. Logan gets away and takes his claws and finishes him off. Logan
Yeah, he does.
Logan passes out again. This man goes unconscious so often.
I never realized it.
Yeah, I didn't until watching this because it happens more in this movie than any of the others, but it happened in all of them at least a couple times in every movie he's been in.
Yeah, when he pokes the waterbed in the next movie.
Yeah,
He's just tired.
he's a sleepy guy,
He's too old for that shit.
all tuckered out.
He's an angel when he sleeps.
Shh,
so
we're at Grandpa's house, honey. Anyways,
Mariko stabs her grandfather in the head
yes,
and then in the neck.
yeah.
And he says to her, "I'm your grandfather."
Yeah, like my
Wait,
dad. tried
I'm
to
your
kill me
grandpa.
earlier. Don't pull that shit on me.
That is the least like sympathy evoking thing ever. You'd think he'd be
Yeah.
like, I had this plan. This is so you could have my business and we can run it together. Remember when we used to run in the fields or do something grandfatherly? No, I am your grandfather. And she just says like, no, my grandpa, I just went to his funeral. You're a young guy in a robot suit.
He's like,
Do you think-
"Nuh-uh.
Do you
I'm
think
the
she
guy
knew?
who."
Oh, I think she
Well,
knew.
yeah.
I think she was
Yeah.
just like, I buried my grandfather, like quippy, like
Yeah.
But yeah, and also, all right. So when I'm just ruining all my unanswered questions now. But when he gets, when he kills him, Logan just gets his immortality back. Like he's just fine now. Like
Yeah.
just
Yeah, like would he have just like I'm going to take away your ability to regenerate, like but his ability to regenerated.
yes, and then also
Right, and I see how the drills could extract blood from him, but what does that have to do with this mutant gene? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, or
How did
bone marrow or whatever. But like,
drills-
yeah, how did the drills suck out his immortality and immediately make the old guy turn young? Like immediately.
like the
metaphysics.
spider made more sense.
Metaphysics.
Metaphysics.
And yeah, okay, and also like, so the old guy's getting Wolverine's powers. When he gets stabbed, shouldn't he be able to pull that out and then heal?
Wow.
No, it's vibranium. Or not vibranium, adamantium.
Is that it?
Like
Yeah.
the magical properties of adamantium, I guess, or something. Yeah, none of that makes any sense. It's a great point.
Yeah, none of that makes any sense whatsoever. So, all right, Logan passes out. He has one more dream about Jean Grey. He gets his closure and decides he wants to live. And then we don't actually get to see him wake up, but he says goodbye to Mariko to get on a plane with Yukio. They say he can go anywhere he wants, but he doesn't know where he wants to go. So the pilot is like, okay, well, I need to know at least something,
general area.
because I can't just fly around. There's things called airspaces and like different countries. They have a lot of rules about where I can fly. So I need somewhere to go.
How much did he milk his billionaire girlfriend's offer to fly him anywhere? Like, well, let's go to the Grand Canyon. I'd like to see Tahoe, maybe Barbados.
Yeah.
A nice layover
Cape
in
of Good
Dallas
Hope
Fort Worth.
also.
Yeah. Italy.
unavoidable.
Yeah. So yeah, we roll credits. And after the credits, Logan's at an airport where he's approached by Magneto and Professor X, who tell him they need his help.
Why is he at an airport? He has a girlfriend who will fly him anywhere. Why is he walking through a concourse?
Well, I'd like to point out that he's going through, that he's opting out of the pat down and that their TSA,
Right.
which indicates that there was 9/11 in this universe.
Okay.
Like, sir, you're also going to have to take off your shoes.
Yeah.
Did anyone else find Xavier's entrance funny? Like he's
Yeah.
standing, obviously, or not standing. He's obviously behind all these people, and then he's like, "Zzz, "Hello, Logan." And he's like, because there's people in front of him.
Right. He has to go around them.
Like,
Yeah.
he's on a rascal in Walmart. Just looks so funny. Zzz, zzz. It's me.
It's me, Professor Xavier.
Excuse me.
Yeah. That was fun. That was I saw this I took Jude and Rain to see this in the theater when it was new. Jude was very young. And he said this was the only scene he remembered from the movie.
It's the only important scene in the whole movie.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah. This
Yeah.
is the most self-contained, like not connected to anything X-Men movie ever.
Which I love.
Yeah.
I love that about it. That is not a complaint from me. at
No.
all. I think
No,
that
no.
is fantastic. I want more of that.
No,
And it's actually a pretty accurate retelling of those stories that Claremont and Frank Miller did. Like, they're the ones that gave him this Ronin type backstory.
yeah.
They were called the Hand, I think, as well.
Mm.
The Black Hand.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of I have a lot of minor complaints about this movie, but overall, I mean, it was a lot of fun, and it was such a humongous improvement over X-Men Origins.
Yeah,
That
I
is-
enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I was entertained.
I feel like it's a solid C+ to B- as far as modern superhero movies go.
And I mean, Origins is flawed because it tries to shoehorn itself into the X-Men universe.
Yeah. Oh God, but it's so bad at it.
Yeah. It's like reverse fixing things that didn't need to be addressed at all.
Mhm.
But this makes sense because it doesn't touch anything. He's just wandering by himself because he killed Jean Grey and a bunch of people died, and he feels bad.
You know what I want us all to keep an eye out for when we get to Days of Future Past? Which, because I don't remember this, it's been a while since I've seen it. Does he have his adamantium claws from the get-go?
Not when he's in the 70s.
Not in the 70s, but in the future he does. And the answer to how he got them back is in our post-credits scene. He's working with Magneto. If anybody could give him adamantium claws back, it's the guy who can manipulate all kinds of metal.
So,
But at the end of Days of Future Past, we see a young William Stryker pull him out of the Chesapeake Bay or whatever.
Yeah.
So that, I don't know, it leads me to believe he just has to have that happen all over again. He doesn't remember exactly how it happened, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, yeah, the time travel in that
travel
movie is such a
thing?
mess. But,
yeah, it's been a while, so I'm gonna.
But in the future parts of Days of Future Past, we see him fighting the Sentinels with his adamantium claws.
Yeah.
I assume that they did not know exactly what they were going to do with Days of Future Past because it's very vague with Magneto and Xavier saying there's a war.
Yeah.
Also, that's 30 years in the future from this movie. But because he's working with Magneto, that was my guess. I was like, oh, that's an easy way to like get him his claws back kind of overnight. Like we just go and get some adamantium from the Silver Samurai suit and his girlfriend who, has adamantium.
There's still adamantium in his body.
No, but we see in the final scene when he sees Magneto, his claws come out and they're just bone.
And they're just bone, yeah. But he doesn't have to necessarily go get more adamantium. He can like manipulate it from his body to cover the claws again.
True. But I mean, he could probably have a care
I
package
might
nailed from like the
that would mean
helmet
it
of
regenerates the amount of adamantium in him.
or he just has a thinner exoskeleton's worth. He just spreads that butter real thin across that slice of Logan bread.
Huh.
Yeah, that could be. Although I do feel in the final scene when the claws came out, they should have been like adamantium up to like there because that's where they got cut
Yeah.
off.
I just
Yeah,
always
that-
thought that ending with Stryker pulling Logan's body out of the water in the 70s, I just felt like that indicated that he was going to go through the Weapon X program again.
Right.
Yeah.
Right,
Oh, yeah,
but-
definitely.
But I'm just talking about, like, at the end of this movie, he doesn't have adamantium claws, and so the in Days of Future Past, the timeline of this Logan from here on forward, he should have only bone claws unless they do something to give him the adamantium claws back.
Yeah.
Because this is...
In that one movie, you're saying?
Yeah, we'll get when we get there. We're talking about a movie we haven't gotten to yet. We'll discuss it more then, because like I don't remember it well enough to be able to speak with authority until I watch it again and take notes. But
Yeah, it's my favorite one, so I've seen it a few times.
so
Oh, yeah.
when we get there, it'll be a month or two. Yeah, that's the movie. That's all I got. We got I did go through all of my unanswered questions already. Do you guys have any unanswered questions or final thoughts on it?
I have one. The character of Yashida. We see him in the beginning of this movie. He is the only Japanese prison guard with all these POWs who is helping people to escape. He doesn't do the honorable thing and commit ritualized suicide. But in the future, well, in the present of this movie, he is now super villainous. He is willing to absorb Logan's life force, kill a bunch of people so that he can be immortal. What happened to his character to where he accumulated this like character flaw of like, I need to be immortal like that guy?
Money,
But
man.
he started out as like, the helpful guy, the nice prison guard.
I think it's money.
Yeah, I guess so.
And
Power corrupts.
fear of his own mortality. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thought maybe he was meant to live.
That's something that I would have liked them to touch on a little more like directly, to say like, yeah, I used to be that weak person who would help people, but now I'm just in it to live forever.
Yeah, it would have been nice if they had addressed the change in character, definitely.
Yeah, because the Silver Samurai as a villain was not really characterized that strongly. He was just big and metal and had a hot sword.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my nickname.
Hot sword.
Hot sword.
Hot sword. Yeah. So, I don't know. You guys ready to go ahead and rank it?
Yeah. How many spiders do we give it? Spit spiders in the mouth.
I will spit 5 spiders into the mouth
5
of
out of
this
5.
film. So, all right. Let's see. As far as where to put it, I mean, it's obviously very, very far above the last Wolverine movie, which is, I don't know, it's really far down here. Oh, 80. So I think it's definitely better than X-Men Last Stand.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'm going to get any arguments on that. I think where we start wondering is it better than X-Men or X2?
I wouldn't say that necessarily.
Not better than 2.
I don't know if I even think
Not
it's better.
better than 1.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if I think it's better than 1 either.
Yeah, there's, again, more payoff.
Um,
This is very insular. It's a good movie, but if it was the first foray...
I'm thinking more of a like Thor level. It's top 20-ish in my mind.
Here, let me go ahead and
All right.
share that. So you guys can see the rankings here. Because I'm thinking kind of right. All right, so right here we've got X-Men at number 20. We've got Thor is way above that, actually. We put
Wow.
Thor up at 12.
Wow.
Yeah, we keep doing this to ourselves.
This list is crazy.
So we have X-Men at number 20. I'm thinking somewhere between X-Men.
I don't think it's better than Blade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say I don't think it's better than Blade. We got Superman 2 at 29. I think that's a good indicator. Do we think it's better than Superman 2?
I mean,
No. The Zod Squad? No way.
I mean, yes and no. I mean, it's definitely more modern, but I mean, Superman 2, I think, is a classic in a way this never would be.
it's definitely better than Superman Returns.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that, yeah, without question, I think it's better than Blade 2. I don't know. Al, where are you falling on this whole thing?
That feels like a good place for me between supers.
Stick it between the supers, between 2 and
Okay.
Returns.
Super 2 and Returns.
I'm down.
All right.
Yeah.
Second his motion.
Okay. And Brian, you're cool with that?
Yeah, number 30. Let's do
You
it.
cool with that?
All
Gonna
right.
sleep all right? You gonna sleep like a Wolverine tonight?
All right. So we're going to put the Wolverine right here
The Wolverine.
at number 30, in between Superman 2 and Superman Returns.
Which is funny. It's like Bryan Singer made so many X-Men movies.
Oh, yeah. Oh, huh.
And
Yeah.
he made Superman Returns. I don't know. That's not a coincidence. But.
No, it's not. All right. And that is a wrap on the Wolverine, which means it's time to look forward to next week. And next week on Harmless Phosphorescence, we are going to be watching Kick-Ass 2.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, that's about how I felt. Like, oh, yeah, that's a movie.
This is our first Jim Carrey, right?
Nope, The Mask.
The Mask.
Oh, The Mask. Oh my God.
Yeah, The Mask. Our second Jim Carrey, though. No, third. He was in Batman Forever.
He was
Batman
the
Forever.
Riddler. Yeah.
Yeah, this is our third Jim Carrey. This is third Jim Carrey. So that's next week on Harmless Phosphorescence. Join us for Kick-Ass 2. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us for this time. This has been your host, Throw Smiley. I've got to go. I have a reservation to stay at the Mission to Mars room.
I'm Josh Cece, and I feel violated.
I'm Brian Lesh, and I'm going to go regrow my adamantium claws.
I'm Alaric Weber, and I still have a bone to pick with that guy who killed my grizzly friend.
Thanks, everybody. We will see you next time. Bye.
Schnick.